Hey guys, welcome back to Midnight Auto Repair. I'm Josh, and we're at the workbench tonight because I'm going to show you some things about points ignition. Now, doesn't matter what flavor of spark plug you like. You know, you got your auto lights if you're not really feeling spendy. You got your AC Delcos if you want to be OE about your GM product. Or we have these fancy NGK Iridiums over here if you want to be super fancy and have something that is a little sportier, may shoot a little bit of a stronger fire. If you want to see more about me, maybe testing some spark plugs or something, just drop a comment in the comments below and I'll be happy to start showing you some things. But for now, we're going to focus on the source of the spark. So we've got an old coil and we've got an old points distributor. These are actually courtesy of a boat. I wanted to do a video describing how simple these actually are. A lot of you guys aren't quite keen on them. They're a little bit older technology, so you older fellers out there, you go grab a beer if you want to keep watching. I'm fine with that too. But younger guys out there, I'm going to show you guys about points ignition and how simple it really is. This is a mechanical ignition. There are points, a condenser, and a coil. And this is something that will work whether the end of the world comes around, EMP, or just basically you don't like electronic ignition for whatever reason. But I'll bring you along and I'll show you a little bit about this. Alright guys, so I'm going to show you pretty much the basics of a points style distributor. And what we're going to do is I'm going to turn the rotor here. Over in this far corner, see the tip of my screwdriver, we have your condenser and we have your points set up. How points work is as these two points contact here, you'll see I can pop it open like so, and when these stay closed, your coil's charging, and every time it pops open, you'll have spark. Because when this opens up here, you'll actually end up with the EMF in the distributor collapses and you shoot all the voltage that coil's built up out. Now, if we come down here a little bit, you can see that there are actually lobes on this distributor. And every time the lobe hits a high point, we see those points open up. And every time those points open up, the coil fires, sends electricity to the distributor. Which in this case, I'm not going to put the cap on it because you'll get the general idea. Every time that this guy comes around here, we have just a little metal tip right on the end. And what happens is that tip hits a brass contact point in the distributor cap and it shoots the electricity from there to the little node that has a spark plug wire on it. And it just goes around, and I'll show you how this actually works in practice as well. Now the nice thing about the setup is it really only requires 12 volts of power. So what we're going to do is I'm going to bring you over here so hopefully you can see everything involved. We have our coil right here, and that's what you're going to do is you're going to come over. We are going to grab 12 volts of power from this guy here, just our basic jump box. And we are going to come over to the positive side of the coil. And when we hook that up, we are energizing the coil now. Let's see if I can't find let that rest itself. Right now the coil's charging. So if we come back over here and we focus on our distributor, you will now see that every time this spins and hits a high point, you can see and hear the points contacting, and every time they open, it's dropping the EMF in that coil pack, and you're getting a spark. So not only are we getting a spark here every time these open, we also are going to get a little bit of spark to our spark plug. Now I've kind of bypassed and just hooked this right up to the coil, but all I've done is eliminate the distributor cap. If I were to put this on the distributor cap, hook it up, and then hook the spark plug wire up to a spark plug, every time it came around to that cylinder, you'd be seeing the same exact thing. So I mean, this thing, send all the spark you want. I hope that's showing up pretty good on camera there, but I kind of wanted to walk you through the basics of this. Now, say you run across one of these and you crank it, you crank it, you crank it, and it just ain't working. What we'll do is we will come in here and set these points to an open setting. And you just take a little bit of sandpaper right in between those. You know, scuff them up a little bit, and next time you go to use it, you should see spark just like that. And it's really simple. As long as you feed the coil 12 volts, and as long as your points are contacting well, you should have a good functioning spark in your engine. So, I know this is a quick video. I kind of wanted to just give you a quick run through and maybe help you younger guys out that are having issues. Now, to set points, we have this big screw right here. And what you'll do is loosen that up, and to set your points gap, you'll bring this to a high point. Now, I've always had good luck using a dollar bill or a business card. Just to, well, I mean, if you can use a matchbook cover too, but I'll try finding those nowadays. But as long as you use that, normally your gap right there is close enough that it'll get you home. Now, if you really want to get fancy with a setup like this, you can use what's called a dwell meter. Well, a dwell meter actually measures how long that spark is open and closed, and it will help you adjust your points so you get the maximum fire every time that opens up. But there's nothing to fear, guys, about these. They're honestly a pretty basic setup. Guys, so what we went over here hopefully helps a few you out. It's not a complicated system, and as long as you have power coming off of the secondary post here on the coil, what it does is you're running that through the primary winding on the coil, and whenever that opens up, you drop the signal there, you drop the EMF, and what it does is it sends the power through the secondary coil, now much increased, through the node here in the secondary winding, in and through and to the top of your distributor. But I want to just kind of walk you through and show you guys there's nothing really to fear with these. They're really basic. You know, you throw a set of points at them. I mean, if it's something you're still driving, you're really putting a lot of effort into. 20, 30,000 miles, check your points, make sure they're not getting burned or worn down. I mean, really, they're pretty indestructible. It's when everything's just absolutely corroded and not making good contacts, the only time you really don't get spark out of these. As long as you got yourself a good coil and you got clean, good points, you'll get fire. So if you're having ignition issues and you got a points distributor, it gives you a place to look. But for now, this is Josh with Midnight Auto Repair. Have yourselves a wonderful night. Like, share, and subscribe, and drop a comment in the section below. And let me know if you want to see me do maybe a spark plug test, see what we have and see if there's any difference in spark between our Autolite, our AC Delco, and our fancy NGK Iridiums. So let me know what you think in the comments section. Guys, have yourselves a wonderful night.